It has perhaps been the most difficult 2 weeks in recent Black Ferns history, but a new location, a new opponent brings a new opportunity to find their spark and show their resilience. France are ranked 4th in the world and having won their last 2 against New Zealand will fancy themselves in front of a raucous home crowd. Had some issues at set piece, but that's a good one for New Zealand. And here's Letzienga as she has popped up at first receiver, charging in off her wing. Front foot ball for Coxedge and finding Roos in a little bit of open space. Maya Roos. Benet has gotten over this ball, tried to rip it away from the New Zealand lock, but she lays it on the 22. Demant swings it across for Flula. Flula looking to get into the action, gets rid of one, finds Robbins-Retty, who's got Woodman outside her. Woodman on Bouchard, bumps her off, goes again, and finally they wrap up Woodman. New Zealand pressing, looking for the first points of the test. Demant just got caught a little bit in two minds, had to go into the line, but her forwards are there to support as Coxedge clears for Jonah Nunwu. And a penalty for New Zealand. Well, it's a good bust up the middle. Trying to just build some pressure. I think Coxedge is going to look for post. If Coxedge can convert, which she does, that New Zealand go ahead in the match. So early points for New Zealand. The little general adds 3 to the tally. New Zealand on the board, 3 points to 0. At the last moment when it looked like they were going to get a roll on, Bourdon just looking for some protection. And Venner, her lock, sets to run with Ermay in support. New Zealand having to defend their line. Going back to short side, numbers wide. And Cyrielle Benet.
Well, the French have been watching the last 2 weeks. They've been going with their set piece. They closed their eyes for 1 second, Vaz.
Yeah, look, they just got caught very short there on the blind side there. Now they know what they're going to do. They're just going to have to really chin up in the next one.
So not only is a set piece, they've studied that, but it's the switchback play as well that caught our girls napping.
She strikes that really nicely, lovely fluid kicking motion. So France respond to New Zealand's early penalty with the converted try, 7-3. Coxedge for Hope Upper Barrett. Up over the 22 and advantage for New Zealand.
Good turnover, good turnover. 1, France offside.
Lindenloof it was. Kendra Coxedge, her 56th test, adds 3 more. So New Zealand just the one behind now, 7 points to 6. The bench and the reserves watch on, and as always, some good Kiwi supporters in the crowd.
That's awesome. Like I already mentioned, the crowds.
France shooting up in defence, so Demant will kick high. No real pressure on Juan though, and she brings it down nicely, but now there's pressure. It was a brilliant read by Flula, and that's allowed Brazier to swarm in, as well as Faliafunga. France have done well to protect that ball and win it back. Philippon is a player down in back play for New Zealand, looking to get the arms free. Maëlle Philippon does so for Juan, and then the little sleight of hand, Ménager down the sideline as she's hustled into it, get the ball in play somehow for Bourdon. France swinging on to attack and the offload sticking. Now Gua. Venner looking to kick ahead. There's open spaces if the ball stays in for Benet. Brazier coming across is not going to get there. Brilliantly summed up by Gabrielle Venner. And again, it's Cyrielle Benet who finishes off for France.
Hey, look, that kick pass was outstanding, don't get me wrong, and Benet, she's a threat all day, but if you're scratching your head at home, so am I. There's definitely a couple I would like to see again on the replay. Not that we have too much control from back here, but we see here, Portia Woodman jockers him to the side nicely, links up Robbins-Retty. Pop pass here seems fine, but it's this one here that got me confused. Ménager, was the foot out and was there a knock on?
Look, I absolutely agree with you, Ruby. I was here looking like, I'm pretty sure that ball was out. But look at that skill from the French, sorry. We knew the French do this all the time, the kick, pass.
Right on half-time, France got a second shove on there. Bourdon. Ermay not going through. Nelson. New Zealand well organised at the moment, but it's patient from the French. Now they go out the back. Juan, big cutout ball. Philippon, Robbins-Retty. She's got a 2-on-1. Jacquet to the line. New Zealand's defence caught out wide, and France do get their third right on the stroke of half-time. It is Chloe Jacquet in her second test and her first test try.
Hey, French took the risk, went for the corner, and it absolutely paid off.
But look at the French, eh? They came away with the points when it most needed at this end of the first half, sorry.
Caroline Joanne to extend the French lead on half-time. Again, it's brilliantly struck. And France will go to the break with a handy advantage over the Black Ferns. They lead 19-6 in Po.
Wow, huge pressure from the French.
So shut down the back, expertly taken down by Romain Ménager, and they maul it away, just driving, powering forward, still going. New Zealand having to really scramble back. They've made 15, 20 odd metres here. And France, and now Bourdon down the short side. Oh, too easy for France. And Emilie Boulard goes in for the first score of the half, but it was well executed. New Zealand open up, simple stuff from the French.
Oh yeah, Boulard, her debut was this year against Wales before the Six Nations. She's just burst onto the scene. Electric player, but there was so much more to it, wasn't there? The mauls just absolutely causing mayhem for this Black Ferns forward pack. But for me, it was Bourdon, the woman who set that up, number 9. Her, the whole time, she was 2 steps ahead of everybody, eyes up, looking around, what's going on? Boulard, there you go, have a meat pie.
You nailed it, Ruby. She was right ahead of the game.
Control the angles that I'm getting.
You could see Patricia Malepo at the back there. You know, she just really handled that really well. Just a breather, a little bit more patience.
Conversion is good from Joanne. All of a sudden, France out to 20 points. France are able to sack that. They've done it illegally, so though someone's come in from the side, so New Zealand will get a penalty.
Too early.
And Coxedge wants to tap and go again. Rule carries hard, good carry from Amy Rule, just a couple of metres short of the line. New Zealand looking for their first try of the match. Roos driving over the line, but held up. French bodies underneath. So it'll be a goal line dropout for France.
Simon just jumped right on the back of Roos, unfortunately held up there. But Kendra Coxedge answered us, when you're scrumming your line out, you're not sure, quick tap and go, put the pressure on. Bourdon has had an absolutely amazing game, but this woman on your screen, number 19, Day 8, one of my absolute favourites of all times. Oh no.
Referee's got a hand in the pocket here. And it's for Amy Rule.
It's so early, it's so deliberate, it's on the lift and it's dangerous.
More problems for the Black Ferns. Here it is, Amy Rule.
Oh, you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to counter that maul. Just absolutely frustrating stuff, because it was far too early and considered dangerous. But
down to the back they go again, Emma. They'll drive and going forward once more. Here come France again, clattering over. The ball has ended up in the hands of Agathe Sochat, the hooker. And France are taking the Black Ferns apart at the moment.
geez, I mean, we would have put for all money, they're going to do them more. The Black Ferns are throwing everything they can at it. One player in the sin bin as well. Just executed so well, and they're so happy because they didn't start well. The Black Ferns were right up there at the beginning, but now look at them come through.
Yeah, look, you can see the French, they veered off to the right, and they're just being able to stay as a really tight pack.
Yeah.
They're really inexperienced, but they really did a great job up against some experienced players with the French.
To the middle this time, it is for Ferrer, and once more they will maul again. It's worked to great success. Now Sonso, and it just opens up. Again, set piece execution, and it allows the halfbacks to control this match. New Zealand have got no answers for the French.
Oh, you could see what the Black Ferns were trying to do. Put the numbers in there to stop the shunt, and momentarily it worked. But just into the hands of Sansu. How amazing have the halfbacks been for the French team? Absolutely amazing.
They've really, I mean, they've fooled everybody. I didn't see that coming right onto the right-hand side, but
And now Juan to extend this margin. Oh, a little nod of the head from the assistant referee. And a perfect kick from Caroline Juan, and France move out to a 38-6 lead. Very good play. New Zealand have just piled everyone into this line out, and they're going to try and rumble as well. There's Baylor at the back for New Zealand, who's had a good impact in a couple of tests, and now New Zealand want to play France at their own game. It's a good rumble forward. Baylor looks to find a runner. It comes in the form of Ponsonby. And again, New Zealand want to keep it in tight. Blackwell crashes over. Looked like she got it down pretty clearly. They're going to check, but New Zealand might finally have their first try of the match.
Ben, I'm coming up to you.
Oh, this will be massive.
On-field decision is a try. I do want to check if it was held up. I had grounding as I came around.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so on-field decision try, but you want to check the ground in, is that correct?
Good call by the ref, just making sure. But of course, it's Eloise Blackwell. Oh, there could be a hand initially, but to me the point goes over
for,
onto the grass.
Offside.
Well, I think might be a hand underneath that.
I think it's her May's hand.
there's not a great angle, not for the Black Ferns anyway, but you see here, it does get held up on a hand here, but I think it's the tip of the ball there that rolls on.
Oh, jeepers.
Well, we will all, you know, me and Vaz will say that that's a try, but geez, the captain for France, Gaëlle Hermé, has done amazing there to get her hand.
On-field decision is try.
So try will be given to Eloise Blackwell for New Zealand, much to the disappointment of the crowd and co, have been absolutely wonderful, and why not just give it to them as well? Make it entertaining for sure, but and I think that'll be the first of many. Maliepo converts the try, so New Zealand close the gap. Baylor clears for Maliepo to the line. She's got Simon, and Flula has with her. Stacey Flula with a little bit of room to move up over the 22. New Zealand looking for a good finish, and then it just comes unstuck at the last moment. And it is a comprehensive win for France in front of a raucous, wonderful home crowd in Po. They have put New Zealand away for the third time in a row, and it is France 38, New Zealand 13. 6 tries they scored.